probably gave props to Chimmel and just chewed that guy out for doing what he did.
I'm glad he did, and I hope he did, because this is the type of thing that we can't be dealing with, especially somebody who's the voice of WWE at the time, and you're compromising him by hitting him in the balls. No, you don't disrespect Tony Kimmel like that. So yeah, just definitely some fucked up situation, and I would really hope he got fired after that shit. So that's how that went. Let's go ahead and talk about CM Punk. CM Punk is somebody that he's a very controversial figure in all companies. Recently, there was a story that came out about Matt Hardy accusing CM Punk of sabotaging his AEW Collision appearance. So he was saying, so I get to Dynamite that night, talk with Tony, and Tony's like, yes, I want you here tomorrow. Be out there with Ethan. I definitely want you there. So he gets there, and they tell him, what do you mean I'm not needed? I just talked to Tony 3 hours ago, and he was excited. He said, let's fucking go. And really, I don't have the full authority to say, but someone stopped that from happening. I couldn't imagine it was anybody besides Punk, because that's his show, right? It was so crazy that Tony so adamantly wanted me there, saying, yes, you're going to do it. And then the next day I couldn't fly out of Toronto until 4 o'clock. I got stuck somewhere, had to rent a car, didn't get home till 3 in the morning. That bugged the shit out of me. So there were definitely times, especially in the AEW relationship, where he was so deep in Tony's ear and got to do whatever he wanted. What happened at AEW, whatever created that, was fucking bullshit that night. I did not like it. It was a very unprofessional situation that fucks me over in real life, and actual time, it really pissed me off, as it should. You're taking what Punk was doing in his little petty bullshit moments is he was taking food out of wrestlers' mouths. Granted, it's your show, whatever, man. At the same time, put your differences aside with people like Ryan Nemeth, with Matt Hardy, with Jack Perry. Put your differences aside to fucking make a show. And that's the biggest thing that puts this guy really aside from being a professional, is he never can do this. He can never get to a point where he's like, you know what, I'm going to just sacrifice my ego for the sake of the entertainment of the show. He can't do that. He always has to hold these grudges and fuck with people. I firmly believe that he did this, especially after hearing the other stories from Collision.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and we've heard a ton of stories from CM Punk doing this, and I think that it's true that CM Punk, I think what he does is he's very opinionated. He likes to politic and do all that bullshit. And I think it pissed off a lot of wrestlers in AEW. I think in WWE, it's kind of like, he's good with the boss, and so he can kind of get to Triple H's ear and say, I'm doing this, we're not doing that. And I think they just go with it. So...
yeah, it's really follow the leader around there, man. And Punk seems to think that he's some sort of locker room leader. That's really sad. But back in the day, we had good locker room leaders. We had cool people like the Sandman. So Sandman in ECW, I always knew that he was kind of a weird dude. I never knew that this was his original gimmick. So take a look at the original Sandman. So here you see him coming out with a surfboard. He's got the Surfer Sting look. He's got Peaches, his wife, with him before she went full hoe for Raven. Staring at the title. It's old school ECW, back when it was Eastern Championship Wrestling, like back in '93, I believe. Everybody's got a mullet. Even the ring announcer has a mullet. Everybody's got a mullet back then, man. It was just a thing.
Yeah, mullet fever.
Mullet fever, exactly. So that's what's going on there. Good for Sandman. He's he really come a long way, from being a surfboard wielding maniac to being a Singapore cane wielding alcoholic maniac. So hell of a character transformation there.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. I mean, and hey, good for him. He went on to become a wrestling legend. I mean, people are still fans of him to this day. So good.
That they are. And they're also fans of another ECW legend, RVD. So he was recently telling a story with Maven about the first time that he ever took a hit.
You want in on it, dude?
You know what? It's been over 20 years since I took a hit, but you know what? I'm in your home. I've always been told that when you're in someone's home and they offer,
you do as they do.
Absolutely. It's rude if you don't.
Well, I know it's on a lot of people's bucket lists.
I guarantee you a lot of people are going to be envious of this.
Well, yeah, let's see how you do with some RVD weed.
It's smooth.
Yeah. I've never been someone to to push it on people. It's weird when people do that. Come on, hit. That's how I started.
It was actually my 21st birthday, and I was in Jamaica on a wrestling tour.
One night, I caught myself in rotation in one of the cabanas. Didn't even realize that they're passing the doobie around when it comes to me. And, I'm like, I don't want that. These guys, Jimmy, hit it. Hit it, you fucking prima donna. Hit it. Everyone else in the room fucking hit it. It's not going to kill you. Just fucking hit it. Quit being a fucking pussy. It was like one of those dudes, and I was just like, so I hit it 2 times, and then I found myself just staring at the wall.
Yeah.
And I was so paranoid because they're already picking on me, give me a hard time. And I'm just like, fuck, they're going to notice I'm just staring at the wall, and they're going to fucking call me an asshole.
You do start getting paranoid.
I'm getting paranoid, and I'm like, dude, turn your fucking head, look at the TV, it's right over there. But I was like so into the stare, and I was like, and then like, fuck, this isn't cool, what am I doing? And then Slinker, the guy that gave me the name Ralph Rundown, he was like, you all right, kid? Oh, yeah, I'm fine. Oh, TV, got it.
I'm sure it was like that for a lot of people the first time that they smoked. So glad to see that somebody who made it his gimmick, he didn't have an easy time with it at first. So definitely a cool thing right there. Maven seemed to hold together pretty well for not smoking for a long time. I'll give him credit.
Yeah, give him credit for that. I mean, he did hold together, but yeah, I mean, when you do, like, and I could speak for myself, when you do try it for the first time, it fucking hits hard. Or if you haven't tried it in a long time, it hits really fucking hard.
Oh yeah, especially if you were a smoker, dude, think you take a year off and you're gonna be right back at it. No, it's gonna hit you like a ton of bricks. So yeah, that's what's going on there. It is time for Modern Wrestlers Are Marks. It started out with Rhea Ripley, who played a huge mark this week. So what happened is there's this post originally, and it was this very plump woman dressed as Timeless Toni Storm doing a cosplay. And this person, Oblivion Lives, basically just quote tweeted this person's picture or whatever and said, I can't take fans seriously when they look like this. So Rhea Ripley, the grandstander that she is, got offended for a wrestler at another company for no fucking reason, wasn't tagged, mind you, and said, meanwhile, you hide behind a fake profile picture and name to mask your own insecurities. This time, Toni Storm cosplay slaps, and she absolutely slays that shit. Seems like jealousy to me. So for those that do not know what the original tweet was, just for a dramatic recreation here, that's pretty much what she looked like. So that was what she was defending as a cosplay that slaps, so to speak. So just pathetic. Like, dude, it's a different company. Why? Like, I get it. You're a Toni Storm fan. That's fine. All these wrestlers break the fourth wall and support wrestlers in other companies, whatever. I don't give a shit about that. But when you go out of your way to start attacking another wrestler's fan base for something that's not even involving you, and just to make yourself look like a virtue signaler so you can get those likes and retweets, it's pathetic. Especially somebody who on camera, a fan asked them to call, what is it? Yeah. A fan asked them to insult them, and she basically called him a fag. Because he wanted to be insulted. No, she's said stuff like this before, so she's definitely a hypocrite. She'll do this and then she'll twerk in the next tweet in a bikini. So we're dealing with Rhea Ripley.
Nah, they can't be consistent. They can't be, true to who they are. I mean, no, they got to, like, again, like, if they're going to virtue signal, then be consistent.
Right, they never can be, though. I mean, because, it's all about female empowerment if they're hoeing it up, if you didn't know by now. But you know what, let's think about a better day for Rhea Ripley. So, she was showing off here, via Haroons, whatever the hell that is, and said, speaks on her former self. She's innocent, and I'm glad that she's gone. So, in other words, she's saying, yeah, I've been taken over by demons, and we're happy with this vessel, and we're not letting the true beauty return ever again. If anything, this woman's going to get uglier and uglier as she gets older. She's only 27. She already looks like she's in her early 30s. She's going to look like she's in her 40s by the time she reaches 30. Being demonic ages you quickly. Look at Becky Lynch. She's a fucking dried out witch husk now.
Right. Do you want to be a cursed hag like Becky Lynch, Rhea? No, you want to look good, get the demons out of you, go back to looking like, a pretty girl right there. I mean, you got broad shoulders, but a pretty girl nonetheless.
I give her that. I mean, but no, these fans, they want their muscle mommy, their demonic muscle mommy. And yeah, it doesn't help that the veterans feed into what these shitty wrestling fans want and their shitty wrestling opinions. One of them is Kevin Nash, who went full political libtard over the weekend. Definitely had a lot of liquor in his system. So he didn't celebrate the 4th of July holiday because we're not the home of the free. So this is what he had to say. Go for it.
It was enjoyable to flush the white trash out today to block and remove them, at least on this site. Glug, glug, glug. I didn't celebrate the 4th this year because I personally feel like we're not the home of the free. We lose constitutional rights daily. If you're a bigot, please unfollow me. Peace out.
Hey, Kevin Nash, what constitutional rights do we lose? Do we lose the First Amendment already? No.
Oh, no, he would be all behind losing the First Amendment just so he could punish the people that say the bad things about the people he doesn't like. Or the people that he likes. So, no, this is the type of person that Kevin Nash is. He would abolish free speech in a minute. That's the thing about all these people is they wish death upon Trump, yet they want free speech abolished. You can't have both, man. It doesn't work like that.
Pick a lane, Nash. Pick a lane. What's it going to be?
Seriously. So Nash also said this to a fan. So he said, "Happy 4 more trillion in debt day. Never felt this proud as we continue to destroy the empathy we once held for those less fortunate. So I guess happy wealth, white 1% day. Enjoy your small regional hospitals while you can. Things just continue to get greater. Happy 4th." This might mean you, meanwhile, came from a millionaire. So a millionaire is talking bad, and then Major Swagger says, "What the fuck does being white have to do with anything? Are you worried about being deported, cracker? Sit in your Alabama double wide. Shut the fuck up." He's in total denial. Doesn't realize that he's a rich white guy, that he is part of that 1% that he talks about. Doesn't realize that he is the privileged people that he talks about. So frustrating when people throw stones and they live in the most classiest houses.
Well, I mean, for Kevin Nash talking about, him, look, Kevin Nash was talking about wealthy white 1%ers. Look, with Kevin Nash, I look at it like this. This motherfucker's rich. He's a snowflake. And he's in good with Triple H. He really is. So, I am kind of surprised that Kevin Nash is being this out in the open with his political opinions. And, he's got a right to say what he wants to say. That's because we still have the First Amendment, Kevin. We didn't get rid of it yet. So,
Thank God. So, yeah, Kevin Nash, as part of that First Amendment, he's saying stupid shit. So, I guess more power to him for that. But let's go ahead and talk about somebody who he's put over quite a bit, is somebody who he'd like to see in the top of the company. We're talking about Gunther. Gunther said in an interview that he did not want to come to WWE because of how Vince McMahon presented wrestling.
Do you think Gunther as Intercontinental Champion for 666 days would happen under Vince?
I don't know. But also, that was also one of the reasons often why I didn't want to, for a long time, I didn't want to go to the US, because from what the product was before Triple H was not what I enjoyed. It was not, I just didn't want to be part of that. I am who I am, and that's what I can do best. And the big part of that is I need to have my time in the ring, and I need to have time to put on the matches I can put on. And that chance wouldn't just not be there under the old regime. And with Triple H, he always saw that in me, and I think he always had that vision for me. And I got lucky that a lot of things in my career just fell into place at the right time. And it was a little bit of a leap of faith when I first made the move over. But yeah, everything worked out at the end. So don't worry about it too much. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, your boy is pushing you because you're an NXT Black and Gold original. That's why. That's the sole reason why Gunther has the push that he did. Because Vince took a look at him. He didn't like him. He made Gunther lose weight. People don't know that. Vince made Gunther lose weight, and it's for the better. He's probably feeling better than he ever has in his entire career because of that. He should really be thanking Vince more.
He should, but is he? No, he's going to blame Vince and demonize him. No, at the end of the day, Vince McMahon saw what we all saw, and that there really is nothing to the guy other than he's a good wrestler, and that's about it.
That's really all you can give the guy. I hate to say it. And just the thing about Triple H is he's pushing people that we don't want to see hold the title. It's bad enough Gunther's holding a title, but now they're pushing for Cody to get that shot at a title again. So here he is celebrating with Jay during his birthday after show. Jay was like 2 seconds away from like just taking him from behind. Like you, why are you hugging him that much? And like for any straight dude to be putting their arm around another dude's waist like that for a prolonged period of time like that, you know, they're definitely having more than libations backstage. Let's put it that way.
They're definitely exchanging more fluids than libations. They're But let's put it. Yeah.
They're getting busy.
They're getting busy.
Somebody else who gets busy is CM Punk. Now, CM Punk, you know, because of how busy he gets, we've shown it all over the place. And it's like clockwork. Every time he gets real pervy and catches himself, what does he have to do? Apologize on Instagram. Every time. Was he in the doghouse for hanging out with those underage girls in Saudi? Who knows? Just that you always see him do this, though. And every time after something sexually suggestive with a young female. Very strange. Patterns, people, patterns.
Right after, very soon, not right after, very soon after he, the picture's taken. You think he would know better. You think he would there would be like this voice in the back who said, well, maybe I shouldn't do this on public. But I think he's like, I'm such a big star. I should be able to do whatever the fuck I want. You know, she's sitting at home, yet I'm over here in the fucking blistering heat of Saudi Arabia. You know, yeah.
No, you're absolutely correct. He feels vindicated. He's like, you know what? I'm the star. I'm the breadwinner. I'm the one who's bringing in the money. I deserve the respect, and I deserve to get to do what I do, you know? And who knows what he does? All I know is that he's been getting very comfortable on the main roster. As, just recently he was already at a rally in Chicago. Now he's at a protest in Pittsburgh to rally against UPMC's cuts to gender-affirming care. So for a little bit more information on that, here's how it's going down. So he noted on IG that he was in attendance for a protest at the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center. The demonstration was organized in response to their scheduled cuts to gender-affirming care, which are set to go into effect on June 30th. Punk, a vocal supporter of LGBTQ plus rights, joined hundreds of other protesters to voice opposition to the healthcare system's policy change, which will affect patients under the age of 19. So in other words, if you don't support cutting kids' dicks off, I'll kick your ass. And that's what it was.
Yeah, pretty much. Like he can talk all tough, like he can be Mr. I'm pro LGBTQ plus, but at the end of the day, this motherfucker's taking Saudi blood money. So CM Punk, go fuck yourself, you hypocrite, you whiny, entitled hypocrite.
Is he actively going on like Facebook and looking to see where the next protester rally is going to be in every major city? Because it feels like he's doing anything he can to grandstand ever since the Saudi deal. I mean, first we had the grandstanding over in Chicago for the ICE riots. Now we have this going on in Pittsburgh. What's the next rally going to be? Is it going to be like for pro-Palestine? What is it going to be? You got to wonder.
Anything he can use to get himself over with the marks. Like he knows who this crowd is.
That he does. So, you know what, though? I will say I give props to Brandon Thurston for firing off on Punk. I guess he got his press pass pulled because he said, new, an aspiring moment of self-realization in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia as CM Punk courageously aligns himself with the visionary government that criminalizes being gay and occasionally kills its critics. Whoa.
Damn.
Hitting hard.
Good for you, Brandon Thurston. I mean, look. People say, "Oh, well, what's wrong with taking Saudi money?" I'm like, me personally, because I'm not pro LGBTQ plus. I don't give a fuck, But with Punk, it's just the hypocrisy of for years being pro LGBTQ and then taking money from the fucking people that kick him off rooftops. Like, I don't want to hear anything from Phil about LGBTQ bullshit, about what any of that bullshit. This motherfucker proved that he's a hypocrite. He took the money.
Especially since we've talked about how he does have a little bit of creative freedom with this contract, and he can decide which dates he does and does not want to do. The fact of the matter is that the payday in Saudi was too much for him to turn down. It was too much, and he's just, at this point, he knows if he panders enough that it will all become white noise. All the hatred will become white noise, because at the core of the day, people can trace back, Punk has always been a liberal punk rock supporter. He's always been that type of guy. Triple H, on the other hand, they're seeing his true colors, So with Punk, I think that they'll conveniently look the other way as long as he continues to parade all of their values. That's what it really comes down to. As long as he keeps on parading their values, they will fight for him. Blindly, mind you.
Yeah. And I think they'll continue to stick up for him as long as it's, they will shit on him when it's popular to do so, because a lot of these fans just want to fit in. It's why they do the chants, they do the eating, they do all this bullshit, because they want to fit in. So I think when it becomes popular to shit on Punk, they'll do so.
Oh yeah, no, it's just they're waiting for the wagon to start. It started with Triple H, and it was slow, man. It was really slow pushing that wagon, but once it got momentum going, there's no stopping it. You cannot stop this wagon, and the fact that he's in bed with TKO deeply right now, and it's been shown multiple times with Donald Trump, and then you got the fact that his family basically married into the Trump family with Linda McMahon working for Donald Trump. Stephanie McMahon ties there. I mean, these smarks are finally putting two and two together and realizing that the guy that gave them those great bangers, he's on the wrong side. And then when it comes down to that, trust me, they don't care about the bangers. These fans will always choose political alignment over wrestling any day of the week.
Oh, it will always, at the end of the day, it will affect their fandom of whatever the fuck they're watching or whatever they're, and with wrestling, and we see it. You see it with wrestling, is that their politics get involved all the fucking time.
Yeah, and especially what we're seeing too is you're seeing with the IWC and with the locker rooms backstage on both shows, mind you, a very pro-liberal locker room. Very pro-liberal IWC. This is why we constantly bring attention to it. There are good liberals out there. Mind you, there are. But a lot of them get swept up and they all parade over political values and they don't care about entertainment value. CM Point, Hulk Hogan. We just did an overhated on him. He's a perfect example of that. A guy who could bring star power back to the company and do something positive. But, do a show in LA on purpose so you can have him get boost when he comes out. That's how you treat a legend. Shit like that, So, CM Punk, though, his girl, she recently had some marky shit to say and said if she got a WWE return offer, she'd turn it down. I'm sorry, but getting told that you don't look tough enough to pick up a pencil is not the worst fucking reason. I've heard women go through so much worse than that, you fucking snowflake. Right. If the door were open for WWE, don't matter if it's Triple H lowball offer, you fucking take it. Because you're just going to be a bum in GCW. TNA don't even want you back. What are you going to do? Are you hoping that you can leverage this into the fucking OnlyFans career? You aren't even half the star that Mandy Rose is. Good luck on that.
Yeah, good luck on that. And then I would just say, the indies don't have a downside guarantee. That's the problem, is that if you're fucked up, you get injured and you can't wrestle, what money's coming in?
Well, then why do people like Matt Cardona and Shotzi, who have been known for their time on the indies and get bookings all the time, why do they always want to come back to a big company, whether it be AEW or WWE? Why do they advocate for that? Because they want that security that you can't get on the indies. You break your leg and you're doing a GoFundMe, because a lot of these wrestlers are not insured. Once they reveal to whoever's their insurance company that, yeah, I'm a pro wrestler, they're like, denied. So,
yeah. Well, I'm surprised they're not on Medicaid. Just get on fucking Medicaid.
Well, yeah, remember back in the day, they used to have Lloyd's of London. They used to have something working with WWF to get these wrestlers insured. And I think that that's something that they should really work on, is making sure that all of these wrestlers, even when they get out the WWID system or working for an ID company, some sort of insurance, or at least a door into it. I would love it if there's some sort of liaison company that can help them get proper insurance, not necessarily afford it for them. I'm not expecting indie companies to do that, but just somebody that can get their foot in the door, because a lot of these wrestlers don't know about that shit. You need somebody that can do insurance management, business management, housing management, because a lot of these wrestlers, they're young, they get that first big paycheck, they blow it like nothing. Kevin Nash, for all his fucking shit that we talk about him, was actually smart. With his 1996 check, he actually went and got himself a Jeep Grand Cherokee, and he still has it to this day. You know, that's what you kind of need to do. You need to have that saving aspect to yourself where you really stretch your dollar as much as you can. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But Elaine Black, definitely a stupid mark. What can be said?
I mean, it's unfortunate. I mean, she's going to spend a lot of time on the indies, like just getting booked to random shows that people have never heard of, and then maybe if she's lucky, she'll be on AEW one day, which I doubt. Honestly, I think you're going to see her in NWA or MLW, probably MLW, locked down to a contract, and you'll never see her again for like 3-4 years. It's like.
MLW sucks. Like, I know you hate TNA. I hate MLW even more than TNA, just for the fact that they're on fewer broadcasts. Like, you have a really hard time finding MLW. It always looks like it's like filmed in like the late 90s or early 2000s. They have the shittiest production work. Their venues are always like just basically tarped up basketball gymnasiums. For all the shit we give about NWA looking like an indie, MLW looks just as bad.
Oh, it does. Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, TNA looks it looks at least 10 times better than whatever MLW is putting, because it looks better produced. TNA looks much better produced than MLW, and I get it. MLW just doesn't have the money to compete at that level, but you know, you could still do a lot. You could do better with what you got to work with, and then also just the goofy booking on that show. Not like the Contra, whatever the fucking goofy faction they got with Kroll, like doing his gay fucking Kane ripoff gimmick. Like I'm sorry, like I can't get into anything from MLW. Like I tried, I gave it a shot, like because I saw MJF is gonna be on MLW. Let me try it out. Let me see what it's all about. I was bored like halfway through. Like 20 minutes in, I'm like, okay. Come on, let's just get forward, because it's just nothing but long matches. It literally, MLW, what you see on MLW is what you see on TNA, is what you see on Dynamite, Collision, Raw, SmackDown. It's all the same. It's all long matches structured like a house show on TV.
It's really, really bad. It's super bad. It literally is stupid faction warfare shit. They have brought in Lucha Underground and some cross promotion, but made it even goofier. It's really, really bad, dude. It's really shitty. It's like TNA in its worst days. So yeah, really, really bad company. But I believe it is time. Let's see. I think we got all our modern wrestlers, our marks taken care of. Oh no, wait, we got some Mercedes Moné, Dogface Gremlin to show you right here. So here she is showing off her dancing skills with her new boyfriend. And meanwhile, there's like some gay TikTok song in the background. So she's doing fruity moves, waving, and of course he, getting real femme and weird for no reason. The pussy's not that good, dude. What are you doing?
No, she looks like a fucking mutated greyhound who's going bald. No, she's not. Like what? Honestly, for her, like. For him, I take it back. For him, it is a brag, because he said, I'm banging this huge megastar in wrestling. Sasha Banks is not a huge megastar. She's not a ratings mover. Look at every segment she's in. It's never the top of the ratings of the show.
No, I completely hear you. And here she is dancing with him again and other jobbers. Because why not do shitty TikTok videos with dudes? Usually in WWE, it's with the chicks. She's obviously doesn't want any chicks that hang around her backstage, so she's doing it with dudes. Probably both of them at the same time.
What would Tony Khan lose if he fired Mercedes right now? If he fired Sasha Banks, what is he losing?
I'm guaranteeing you the Beast Mortos is looking at her like a massive paycheck, as a massive meal ticket. Because this woman, I tell you right now, she's the highest paid woman in AEW. She's right up there with MJF. I don't think getting paid as much as him, like maybe 10 mil, but she's still very well paid. She lives the life. She has as much money as she possibly wants. That's why you see her with a smile on her face and just giddy every fucking time, because she literally made her dreams come true. She is a multi-millionaire now. So Tony gave that to her, and I will say that maybe Morto sees that in her and is like, you know what, shit, might as well get something out of this. So
yeah, tag along into that dog. I mean, like like if you're gonna date a wrestler, could you date somebody better than Mortos?
No, this is the best she can get. And, the haters online were talking about her, and she had to address all those haters who, don't want to watch AEW.
I miss crybaby. You can watch Mercedes Moné every single week on AEW Dynamite. And in 10 days, you can watch me on AEW All In when I become the AEW Women's World Champion. Thank you.
This is what we're talking about with these female wrestlers. They all feel the need to reply to every fucking troll online. They go out of their way and do video messages. So it's bad enough that you already have them doing quote tweets and replying to these fucking just these dorks. Now they're going out of their way and doing video messages. Shit you would have to pay for on Cameo. They're doing for free just to spite these trolls. Why?
Because they're sensitive. They're a bunch of fucking snowflakes, and there's nobody telling them, "Hey, you probably shouldn't be doing that." No, in AEW, it's just do whatever the fuck you want. If you're a big time wrestling star, then just throw your weight around in politics. The lunatics are running the asylum in AEW. There's no control. Like, people wonder why AEW is such a shit show. There you go. It's because there's no Vince McMahon. There's not even a Triple H. There's nobody in control.
It's the All Friends Wrestling Club over there, and they just have fun. Everything's about having fun, no expectations. We're not going to get kicked off of TBS and TNT. Even though WBD is becoming two separate companies here by the end of the year, and unfortunately AEW is tied up in both streaming and cable broadcast rights, which is going to cause them to possibly get some SEC fines. So might want to change some shit, Tony. Just saying.
Tony feels like he doesn't